All right, thanks for tuning in with the TV theme battle bracket. We've interviewed people every Sunday about the ongoings of this great bracket tournament that we've been running on Twitter. Last week we had Adam Vettner. This week we have Scott Macloed. The reason why I called up Scott, obviously he's a dear friend, but while you were in grade school doing your homework at night, he was watching TV. While you were in high school doing your homework at night, he was watching TV. University, and while you were out at bars trying to pick up young ladies or young men, he was watching TV. So he's got, pound for pound, the best hours committed to TV watching. That's why we wanted to bring him in. So, you know, everyone's like talking about binging Netflix. He's been binging since the 80s. So it's as simple as that.
All of those things you said are true. If you don't believe, I have a body built by TV.
Yeah,
that's the best way to describe it.
Body built,
and because
by
of that,
TV.
Yeah, that's why I didn't kiss a girl until I was 27.
Mm-hmm. But when she did kiss you, it was worth the wait.
It was worth the wait. Wild time.
All right, so we're going to break down the week that was and the week that will be. You know, our round 2 is kind of forming up, and we already have some previews of what round 3 is going to look like. But Scott, looking at the week that was there any shockers? And while you're talking about that, I'm going to pull up the bracket from the last week. So go ahead and tell me any shockers you got going on.
I wouldn't say there were any shockers. There were no major upsets. There's no Columbus knocking off Tampa Bay in the first round. What I will say, Transformers, they didn't come out as hard as I thought. I thought they were gonna have a much better showing. I know Vettner, I watched him last week. He had some things to say about Transformers. I disagree. I think Transformers is a powerful theme song because it's more, everyone thinks about it's more than meets the eye, right? But there's that jam in the middle where it's like the Autobots by the Decepticon. That's legendary. And that makes I thought it would show up a little bit better. It was against the heavyweight, but I thought it would just have a better performance.
Yeah, that's the biggest loss that we've had. I will contest that the recording of the Transformer song is not excellent, but the shred guitar factor was right in tune with the 80s, right? So
yeah, and you got to remember, like it's a TV theme song, Brad. So it's in the genre of TV theme songs, right? It's got to be short, it's got to be catchy, got to get your attention, and Transformers does that. It was a disappointing showing in the second round.
Now, not that I'm going to pull up your tweets from the past, like some former Trump tweets that make you look bad, but you were thinking about Belvedere and Transformers having a little bit of a tighter battle, which was it worked out to be about 58-42. So it was pretty close. But you were thinking that Belvedere could do it, right?
I did. I think people slept on. I think they were sleeping on it. I still think they're sleeping on it. Yeah, I watched Vettner. Vettner had the right things to say. It's a jam. It is. Well, again, the whole concept of the show, like you guys talked about, is unbelievable. Bob Uecker with a British butler. Come on, that's gold. But the song itself, it's such a good theme song. And I was shocked it got bounced in such an early stage.
All right. So another one that really shocked people because there was a lot of nominations for this song, but Greatest American Hero. Now, what are your thoughts on that one going up against the Dukes?
Okay.
Tight battle, but
it is, and they're both great theme songs. And I'll tell you why the Dukes won. I thought about this. I'll tell you why they won. The Greatest American Hero, it's got that hook, right? But that great quote, but it takes too long to get there. It's a TV theme song battle. You got to come with it. Dukes of Hazzard, first bar. It's the good old boys. You know what's going on. All right, we got it. Greatest American Hero, it takes too long to get up to that peak. But what a peak it is. But it's the instantaneous right off the top. It's good, and that's their hook. Their hook is right off the top as opposed to waiting for it.
Yeah, Perfect Strangers that you got, it's a slow build on that one. And that song, it did not make it out of the second round as well. So you're really contesting that. You got to hit them hard. You got to hit them early.
Yeah, it is. You got to get them right. You got to know within like 10 seconds what you got going on here.
All right. So going to the underground here, we thought we were going to see our first maybe Canadian upset here with Degrassi Junior High versus Saved by the Bell, an absolute juggernaut. On Twitter, I
Mm-hmm.
really, set it up with the Canada versus America, Ontario
Mm-hmm.
versus California, but it just seemed too much for Degrassi. Go ahead. Any thoughts?
It was too much. But I'll say this: Degrassi walked so Saved by the Bell could run. Not only in the show, but the theme song itself. You could, if you watch them back to back, Degrassi's like it lays the foundation, and then Saved by the Bell like gives it the corporate polish, cleans it up, sends it off to the next round.
That's true.
It's,
yeah. Because you look at the formula, like obviously Saved by the Bell, a little more based around Zach. There's no, I guess you could say Jeremiah is the Zach of Degrassi, but you got your Wheels and Screech commonalities. But yes,
it's an ensemble.
It's
a nice ensemble cast over there in Degrassi, hitting real world issues. Now we could debate the merits of the show. Like Degrassi is by far the superior show. That's not in question. But that theme song, I mean, they really polished it up, gave it a nice shine, sent it on its way. It's got the rocking guitars. It's a little more upbeat. It's like, when you get the really good indie bands that influence the bands that go on to become the major stars.
Yeah, and I've been saying that the Degrassi Junior High sounds like there's 22 bands right now in Toronto that are trying to sound like the Degrassi Junior High theme song. So they may have lost, but their influence is out there for sure.
It's out there for sure.
All right. So another Canadian underground got tuned up a little bit was Edison Twins versus Seinfeld. Chris Bozak was pushing for Edison Twins. So was Billy Topolinsky. But where were your thoughts?
Sebos is an Edison fan. He pushed hard. And hey, you can't take anything away from it. It hit a juggernaut. There are some, like, you got your Dukes and your Kentuckys, and they're in the tournament, and you run into them sometimes. Edison Twins could have gotten a nice, if it had found the right opponents, could have had a nice deep run, but it just ran into a monster there with Seinfeld.
But the genius behind the Seinfeld thing, we talked about last week how it's not really bass, it's keyboard. But I don't know if you saw that link I posted. But he changes up the song for like multiple different episodes depending on his stand-up. So that's a very unique animal. So
yeah, and it's like a one-man show in there, eh? Yeah. Like and for no words, no melodies, no nothing. Everybody knows what it is. And it's that instantaneous, that pop.
That pop,
you just know it.
All right, jumping up, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Married Children versus Blossom. A lot of people, Blossom had a good underground crew, quite similar to Degrassi, but, Married with Children, once again, tough.
It's a juggernaut. It's Frank Sinatra, right? Like, it's the fountains at the beginning when the strings come in. It's a powerhouse. It's tough to run in. Blossom, when you like, I've forgotten about it. Like when I'm like, oh yeah, the Blossom theme song, I had to watch the video. You know what I mean? And if right there, you're an underdog. If I don't know right off the top of my head, but when you watch it, it's a great theme song. It encapsulates the '90s like no other. The outfits, the dancing, it's a great theme song. Even the video you posted with the dad jamming with B.B. King at the end. Come on, it's the powerhouse. It's Married with Children.
The dad played a musician on Soap, so I think he's a legit musician because you get Dr. John and you get B.B. King on the exit. You get Dr. John on the front end, must have been the wrong play or right place or whatever. And then you got B.B. King on the exit. Like, he must have had some sort of pull. Like, that is, you're pulling out two legends. He's
definitely tied into the music world there. And he he was like, hey, let's get B.B. King on the show for a guest spot, and just so he could jam with him.
No big deal. Nice and easy.
No big deal.
But I thought that was going to be our biggest rear end kicking of the week, but that was 70% win for Married with Children. But then we've already kind of previewed a little bit. Cheers versus Transformers. That was your biggest shocker. But wow, 77% of the vote going to Cheers. But that song, like, you go to Boston. I don't know how many sitcoms have two locations enshrined to it. Boston
Yeah.
has the original bar, and then Quincy Market, they got another bar in there. And I don't know how long those will last because the show's getting a little long in the tooth. But, you know, I don't see any Blossom places or,
No.
you know, Mr. Belvedere setups when we were in Pittsburgh in December.
Oh, imagine going to like Bob Euchre's pub or something like that. Would be unreal.
I
But
was picturing just a bunch of overweight English guys, all the servers, you know, like actually, you know what? Let's chalk this up to an idea here. The Belvedere pub,
we'll start working.
everybody's overweight and British. There's going to be some sort of workplace discrimination there on the hiring policies.
I'm sure there will be.
You got to commit to it. But yeah, but going back to Cheers and Transformers.
And you know what? I voted for Cheers. It's a number one seed, right? Like it's there for a reason. And I'm just saying Transformers, I thought might put up a better fight, but it's to be expected, right? It's one of the all-time theme songs in all of TV. Everybody knows the song, and it's not just a great theme song; it's just a great song, and it makes you want to just like drink beers with your friends and hug people. You know, it's just like it's a good time. Let's get together song, and it's a good one. It's gonna be hard to knock it off its perch.
Now, Jackie talked about it. So at Jackie Gardens on Twitter, she talked about that. It really had her missing the Rex Hotel because, you know, for a lot of us that the Rex Hotel is kind of our Cheers where people know your name or at least know if you owe them money. So, you know, that hit a guitar chord for a lot of people for sure with the COVID-19.
Yeah, that sums it up right. You could play that song and you walk into the Rex and everyone yells your name when you walk in.
And yesterday's battle, WKRP in Cincinnati versus Family Matters, I thought this one was going to be closer, but it was 71% of the votes going to WKRP, our first older show that has made it through. Greatest American Hero, and then Different Strokes, and as well as Fall Guy. Those are the kind of our older shows. They're gone, but we have WKRP in Cincinnati moving on.
Ventnor is a Fall Guy stan, eh? He was just pumping Fall Guys tires. It might be a bit of a shock because it is. I'm gonna have to change my answer. I didn't realize it was such a sound defeat because it is a late '70s kind of into the early '80s, and I don't know how diverse your Twitter audience is. I mean, you know a lot of people, but Family Matters, like it's that TGIF. It's right in the pocket. It's a jam when it comes in with the piano and it drops down. It's a really good theme song. WKRP, again, it's a classic. And what you're talking about, Cheers, it's getting a little long in the tooth. It's going to start losing legs. But when it closes off when it sings WKRP and it's like a radio jingle, it's just a moment of that's something right there.
Yeah, and
tying it all together.
With the Family Matters, you got to remember the same writer wrote Perfect Strangers, Full House, Family Matters, and Step by Step. So they all kind of have the similarity. So someone maybe last week voted for Full House, and then they're like, oh, you know what? Then the WKRP Cincinnati hits you in another way. And, you know, obviously that show's got a lot of power. Lonnie Anderson was my, I guess you'd say, sexual awakening as a young man. I'd be like, whoa, what's up with those sweaters? I remember saying that in the late 80s and early 90s. But yeah, so that show's pretty important to me. But, you know, you got Ness Lessman, you know, you can't beat it. And you got Bailey, all that sort of stuff. So
was it Dr. Fever or Johnny Fever?
Yeah, it was. I believe it was Dr. Fever. Yeah, Johnny.
Dr. Fever. That's a solid name right there. See, that show just missed my. I just missed that show. I've seen the highlights and everything. I understand the cultural impact of it, but it wasn't really on my radar. But that theme song, it's a gem.
All right, so we're gonna look for the week ahead, and then I'm gonna ask you to break down your final four, which is always exciting. So the week ahead, very interesting battle here. So we just talked about Cincinnati. We're going to, move down the state a little bit. Drew Carey, Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes.
Versus Baywatch. So Coast, both big 90s shows, but Go ahead. I want to hear it.
I'm hyped for this. In my opinion, this is a no contest. Drew Carey show is not only an underrated TV show. To watch it every day on like Channel 47 or whatever it was on TBS. That theme song, Cleveland Rocks. It gets you hyped. It makes you want to go to Cleveland. Cleveland's a dump, but it makes you want to go there. And it's just the whole video with the city and everyone's just jacked on Cleveland. That song, that's my sleeper. I'm thinking when people listen to it, people watch it, they might not remember, it might not sink in. When they see what's coming, it's a jam, it's a banger, and it deserves to go on.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before, and maybe you can shed some light, but when established artists make the songs, you know, like Presidents of the United States of America, you know, they write that song. That, you know, that adds a little oomph, you know, but you know, it didn't help Dr. John, but it definitely helped Frank Sinatra, you know, with Married with Children. So
and you see this contest opens your eyes to just how many people have, like, how many people are writing for them, or they're using other people's theme songs. Like Welcome Back, Kotter was John Sebastian from the Love and Spoonful. Put it on the list. They're just out there.
That is deep. I didn't know about that.
They're making back. Now watch Welcome Back, Kotter. I found that like it was rerunning late nights.
Yeah.
That was my jam. Also, great theme song. Too early for the contest.
Last episode was like 79. Just missed it.
Yeah.
MASH and those other shows, they at least aired episodes in the 80s, and that allowed them to stay in the running. So we're looking at, I'm feeling, I don't want to sway the vote, but, you know, the Drew Carey, you know, I like, you know, you put on President of the United States of America, I'm into it. Now Tuesday, finally, you know, my wife is going to be super excited about this, but Golden Girls versus Family Ties, like, wow.
Okay. I didn't think Family Ties should have made it out of the first round. Who do they upset? Different Strokes, was it?
Family Ties, yeah, Different Strokes. Yeah, very good.
Outrageous. And I think you guys covered it last week. It's a ballad, and Different Strokes is just, how do you argue with it? It's that up funk. It's just fantastic. But so Family Ties shouldn't have made it this far. And Golden Girls is another Final Four. It's another Duke or Kentucky or whatever you want to call it. It's a monster. It's a monster and should have no problem sweeping off this sappy little ballad.
But if we could sweep back, you know, going back to Family Ties is, you know, I just like how it's like hippie parents raise like Michael J. Fox becomes a Republican, and like that's the context of the show. Some of these pitches from some of these shows, I would just die to be in the room. Absolutely. All right, looking Wednesday bound, Knight Rider versus Growing Pains. So Anthony Perry brought up, you know, if Baywatch and Knight Rider advance, we could see a Hasselhoff head-to-head. But I know I don't want to taint your process on just having that burger on the floor battle, but
listen, 2020's got enough problems. We don't need dueling Hasselhoffs. I don't think Knight Riders got the instrumental. I'm not going to be sold on instrumental. In the world of TV theme songs, like I said, you need the hook. I don't think Knight Riders got enough. I don't think it's got enough.
Yeah,
I think this is the end of Hasselhoff here in round 2.
Yeah, that's it. It started so not really well, but yeah, he he didn't have to battle for the preliminary rounds with your Different Strokes and your Fall Guys, but it's going to be tough. And the thing is, you know, if we could keep people's attention span for this vote, you know, if we were to do it again, I would have Canadian, American, and then instrumental and lyrics, right? Because your instrumental ones, like, you know, I think about A-Team and, you know, Airwolf. Good
Incredible Hulk. Like a lot, in the 80s, your dramas or your lack of dramas, actions, they really went with the instrumental themes. Your sitcoms stuck with your ballads, and you're gonna in your songs, and you're gonna see. I think instrumentals are a bit of an underdog here.
Yeah, it was pretty simple. Like if you were making an action TV, like hour long or half hour, you had to do an instrumental. If you were making a movie, you had to call up Kenny Loggins. You had to bring in Loggins. Like It's just on every film.
Everything.
Caddyshack.
Everything.
Yeah.
Dangerous man.
Danger. All right. So looking Thursday, Star Trek, to be very clear, The Next Generation,
All
and
right.
versus DuckTales. So we have the Federation versus the, DuckTales. Woo woo. This is a
Yeah.
battle.
Yeah. Well, man, that's tough to call. Is Star Trek's another instrumental, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think they think John Cott's going to be very upset when watching this. I'm not dropping Star Trek knowledge on people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. It's gonna be close. It depends how hard the Trekkie and Trekkies go hard. Trekkies go hard. There might be a lot of outside voters coming in just for that one, busting in the fake voters, But I think I'd like to see DuckTales take it. I think it's an underrated gem. It really kind of missed my childhood. I was probably too old to be watching it, but still did.
Yeah.
And also, fantastic Sega Genesis game. Fantastic. Underrated gem.
I don't remember it offhand, but I do remember it existing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, I'm telling you, it was a good one. So I'm gonna go with DuckTales. Woohoo! That's a lock. But Star Trek's got the name recognition behind it. That's gonna maybe push it through. Tough to call. Flip a coin.
So you're encouraging all the kids out there to head over to a Bonanza or Blockbuster Video, and if you get your hands on DuckTales for Sega Genesis.
Well, I think you're being foolish. I think you go to Jumbo Video because you get the free popcorn. So you've missed out here a little. But yeah, go to Jumbo Video, get DuckTales, pop the cartridge in your Genesis, have a night.
And Scott and I have a mutual friend who called Bonanza Video for the Contra code.
He did. Wanted to know, hey, I rented the game. I need the secret codes that go with it.
Yeah. If you want to tell your kids a chilling story about getting information for pre-internet, that's it right for you.
The Bonanza guy didn't have it. Didn't help him out.
Didn't have the information. Got it via just calling the video store. All right. Friday. This is This is what, my Final Four has it. It's an instrumental. It's risky. I know how much 1 p.m.s on A&E you spent watching Law and Order like I did. Jerry Orbach for life versus Three's Company, another older one. So, the mature crowd's going to be voting for this one. Matures like the Law and Order, and they love the Three's Company. All right. Yeah.
Man, that's a big matchup. That's a big matchup. And I'll tell you, you're right, Law and Order, you got the serious, the drama, but man, does it hit you with the dun-dun when it kicks in right off the top. It hammers you and gets that bass picking or when he's plucking the string. Oh, man. And you're right, Briscoe and Logan, 1 p.m., A&E. Three's Company, a little bit older, but that right off the top, come on, knocking my door.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Again, it's a heavyweight fight. It's a heavyweight fight.
When you got the songs like Cheers and Three's Company, the power is that if you give someone the first two lines, I'm going to say 80 to 90% of people are going to be able to at least carry you halfway through the song or complete the song with no other cueing. That's the power.
Yeah, that's the power. But Law and Order, as far as instrumental goes, it's the most recognizable. Even when it gets into that, there's a flute. I think a flute comes in at one point.
Flute, yeah.
I'm gonna put my stamp on Law and Order. I could, by the time it rolls around, I could have flip-flopped 20 times on this. But right now, thinking about that flute coming in about 3/4 of the way through, I'm gonna give it to Law and Order. Powerful.
I've had a few people direct message me saying how much time they spend, nurturing and weighing the options on these decisions. It's a lot of people aren't just clicking. I
think you can look and say, oh, it's this one until you look and you're like, oh, you have to watch the videos. If you're voting without watching both videos, that's an injustice to this contest. Mm-hmm. There are things in there you might be missing, you might not be remembering, and this one might be your favorite show, but come on, this theme songs, and there are some gems.
I've been trying my best to make sure I have not just an image, it plays the whole like you're watching it for real. I try to find those links. because
Now let me ask you this: when you part of the A&E song is that intro, right, in the criminal justice system, that's part of the theme song too, right?
yeah.
So so it does have that intro, that a little, not lyrics, but the spoken word, first spoken word.
Yeah, but if you remember the show correctly, they would do the spoken word, then they would show you where the body is, and then they
Oh,
would kick it
that's
in, right?
so when you're showing the theme song, you're just getting the right with that, like the hammer coming in, right?
Yeah, yeah, the
Dun,
hammer thing.
dun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But whosever idea was to like split up the scenes with those junks is
Yeah.
a genius. Yeah.
Yeah. That's got Dick Wolf written all over it.
If he doesn't have an
Also,
Emmy attached to his name, it's a crime. Great crime. All right, MASH versus Miami Vice.
hmm.
This one doesn't move the needle for me. I know, the MASH song is good. Miami Vice is, you can put it with those action instrumentals, your Airwolves, your Night Riders, your A-teams. But
I'm on board with you. It's not my. What day is this? Is this Thursday or Friday?
this is
Which one's?
Saturday. This is the last match.
Oh, this is the last one. Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna say Mash. Mash is. And I'm saying that right now just because it's the one popping in my head. I can hear it clearly. The helicopter. And it is an iconic theme song. But again, you're just touching the early '80s there, right? Where Miami Vice, you're getting kind of a little more mid '80s, '85, '86, somewhere in there. So, but Mash, it was powerful theme song, powerful like popular show.
Yeah.
I think Mash will carry it through based on just on name recognition alone.
What I like about it is just the visuals. You got like Korean War, like grainy, and then you have 80s, Miami, color, blazers, women.
Oh yeah.
It's like complete polar opposites. It's going to be a complete, left turn when you're watching those videos back to back.
Oh, it's two different eras of the same decade.
Two different eras of the same decade. Yeah, different locales for sure. All right, so we asked Adam about this, but you mentioned a little bit about your Final Four. What are you thinking about your Final Four for the TV team battle bracket?
Okay, I thought about. Now I don't want to be these. I'm not marking these in stone. This could change, right? There are some, but I see Fresh Prince hard to knock off, based on just like what you're saying. Everyone can rap. They could pretty much sing the entire Fresh Prince theme song.
Yeah.
Right off the hop. I like Golden Girls. I think it's a strong competitor, and like the part where it gets into "If You Threw a Party," that's like halfway through, and you're already rocking coming into that, and then it doubles up with that. Golden Girls is a banger. Let me see. Married with Children's. It'd be hard to know. I didn't when you told me this. I didn't go through the bracket. These might be going up against each other.
But that's fine. Yeah.
I'm gonna. I know I'm gonna miss one. I'd like to see Drew Carey. I want to put an underdog in, but again, Cheers. Like, how are you gonna knock off Cheers? Cheers is gonna get through. So I'm gonna say Fresh Prince, Golden Girls, Cheers, Married with Children.
All right.
That's my four. Drew Carey show on, like, if I was betting, if there was a like bet, they would have high odds, and I would slide a quick bill on them. Maybe they sneak through.
Yeah.
I really like it. I really like it a lot.
So the question is, I guess what's the message that a lot of the undergrounds or underdogs have not succeeded. Now, a lot of people are going with the heavy hitters. What is your message? You've always gone against the grain in many aspects of your life, including that goatee. So, what are you thinking? What's your message out to the general public about on the
First of all my style inspiration now is coming from Jim the Anvil Neidhart. That's it. It's not about the show. I want to do the politician thing. It's not about the show.
Wow.
It's about the song, the theme song, and the song in the genre of TV theme songs. You see, it's not. You can't have these long-winded jams. You can't have an Allman Brothers theme song. It's too much. It's short, it's concise, it's catchy. It's not about your show. It's not about the nostalgia. It's about the song. And I don't want to get too heated. I'm going to get fired up again, flip a chair or something. But watch the videos, listen to the songs.
So you talked about the duration. So you think that's one of the major reasons why Pink Floyd and Tool have never really got into the TV theme song industry? That's probably one of the main barriers, right?
Tool could write the theme song for a show called like 5 Second Sitcom. Like Tool writes a theme song, "Honey, I'm home," and then the show's over. That's it.
Just weird noises in the back, and then back to the main rim.
And back to Tool.
All right, so we're gonna close things off. Looking through the bracket, what is the one sentimental value? You talked about the Law and Order, the 1 p.m. I know that you used to accommodate your Brock schedule. I used to do with my Niagara schedule to try to be.
Can I just talk about that for 1 second? It wasn't just Law and Order. You started with Night Court at noon.
Yeah.
News Radio at 12:30, and you want to talk about underrated sitcoms of all time, News Radio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get back into it with a 1 hour Law and Order, settle in, only to come out of it with Northern Exposure on the back end. Northern Exposure, you kidding me? Underrated show.
But then I remember that correctly, and I think we've talked about this before. Then if you're lounging on the couch for too long, then all of a sudden you get a little blurry, and then you're on TBS. You're watching the Steve Harvey Show.
Oh, I've seen every episode.
Yeah.
Yes, dear. I've watched every Yes, dear episode.
Yeah. What about Hanging with Cooper? You watch a lot of that?
It didn't get into syndication as much.
No.
Sitcoms can make a lot of money off me in syndication.
Yeah.
That's where they found me at 2 p.m. instead of going to school. I'm watching Northern Exposure.
So yeah, back to the question at hand. What is the one that really draws up a lot of emotion or memories for you? What is the one TV show theme song there?
As we've discussed, my life is shaped by TV. So it's hard to narrow it down to one. I really, really, really like Married with Children because it's a show I used to watch with my dad. And I understand it doesn't meet today's standards in any sense of the word. And it can never be aired, but man, it brings back fond memories for me. It was so over the top and ridiculous. And when those strings hit and the fountain comes up and then the stamp when it says married and then the stamp comes in with children and it's slide and it's just one that just sits nicely at home for me.
The stamp is honestly right now the work that grade 6 graphic designers do now. That's just the way it seeps with slime.
Yeah, you could do that on your phone in 5 seconds right now. You can make that. That was cutting edge though.
Brought in the top guy.
Yeah. But I would also like to say that Different Strokes did not get the respect it deserved.
Did not.
And I put that partly on the people and partly on the tournament organizers for its slow seating. Okay. Right in your eyes, Kelly Jones. I'm looking right in your eyes.
Well, now I'm going to go pick up the shattered response of me organizing this tournament and how I can do it better next time.
No matter how many nice things you do, I'll be there just to crap all over them.
Yeah, it keeps me honest, keeps me regular. All right, so I want to thank Scott Macloed for tuning in. So your unique spelling of your Twitter handle is @SachoMan, correct?
No, that's not correct, Jones.
Okay.
It's Scotcho Man, like Macho Man, but Scott. See? Scotcho Man.
Oh, now it's
what happens when you make your Twitter handles after a couple pints at Merchant Ale House.
And just for the record, Scott didn't watch any wrestling. He's just a huge Village People fan, so that's why he wants the Macho Man on there. He doesn't just watch wrestling at all. Just huge.
Never. Not 1 minute.
Yeah, not 1 minute.
I'm going to go put on my leather biker outfit now and be on my way. Thanks for having me on, Kelly Jones.
Pardon me?
Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure to see your face.
Always a pleasure. Okay, thanks, Lon. We'll be back on next week with Greg Blakely from Ottawa, Ontario.
Blakely's following me. Hi, Blakely. Oh, he's such a tiny man. I love him so much.
All right, get your votes in and keep looking Monday to Saturday. Thanks again. Thanks, Scott.
Bye.